Welcome for our annual conference. Yesterday was almost a party. Today, some serious work. And we're discussing some really important issues for Africa. The issue of migration and the issue of young people and jobs.
Migration, the free movement of people, is a historical endeavor of going across borders for safety or for opportunity.
Essentially, the conversation on migration is a conversation on governance. I think we're talking about migration today because of some indignation that our youth die in the oceans. But I think that we should be totally unsettled by the fact that our youth are dying because of poor governance. They are not dying because of the oceans. That our skilled labor on the continent is the labor that cannot find jobs.
The only crisis is the tragedy of people dying in the Mediterranean Sea.
It seems to be presented as a problem, right? And I think we should maybe put things in perspective.
There's hope with respect to the African Continental Free Trade Area, because suddenly a farmer from Togo or a farmer from Lesotho has a 1.2 billion market that they can actually tap into.
There's actually a lot of innovation that's happening on the continent, especially by young people.
Now, how do we move from vision to action? There is no migrant crisis. Yes. And we want to make sure that all the young people of Africa are self-empowered by becoming self-reliant, taking charge, taking action, claiming their leadership, and moving ahead as we know that Africa is the continent of the future.
We never had a lady leading the United Nations.
And we will, inshallah, have a woman Secretary General in the near future. I think, no, I don't think there's a glass ceiling. I think there's a concrete one.
No.
And we need to consistently chisel away until we find the crack and we get through it, and we can truly say that our representation is genuine, it's credible, and it's just.
So I think the whole issue is how to make our youth, which they have told us this time, that they are deeply dissatisfied, economically marginalized, and socially, as well as civil and politically, they are also marginalized.
The problem is not only unemployment. The problem is also the low quality of jobs that we have and underemployment for our young people.
Africa, if things continue as they are, stands to lose 60% of its income potential because of shortfalls to learning, schooling, and health.
We must invest in hope. The young people, they are the hope of this continent. And that conversation is not a conversation for tomorrow. It's a conversation for today.
So we need to change how we think and talk about young people, how we talk to young people, assuming that they don't know what they're saying, assuming they can't speak for themselves, they can't speak about themselves. So instead of assuming we know what young people think, why not ask them? We are not talking about problems enough, because the more we make our government officials uncomfortable, the more they'll change.
The reinforcement of the strong link between governance, migration, accountability, growth, investment, the sense of urgency that's required in terms of linking policy and action, the importance of creating quality jobs, investment in education and skills, and in young women. Making agriculture a business, making agriculture cool, let's remember that. Changing the narrative and the way that we think and talk about young people, and giving them opportunity, not seeing them as a problem. And remember that entrepreneurship is not a magic pill.
You talked about movement within Africa.
Yeah.
Take, for instance, our factory in Nigeria. We're only 28 kilometers into Republic of Benin. But Republic of Benin, they don't allow us to take cement into, Benin Republic, but they import from China. The AFC, CTA is a very, very good, thing to, but my issue is that even if we sign, what about the implementation? I think when you look at it, a place like Republic of Benin, Togo, and Co., they are the ones that will benefit more in terms of these, regional markets. Because if I'm from Benin or I have business in Benin, it means that I don't only have market for 14, 15 million people. I have Nigeria's market, which is 200. So I carry 6 to 7 passports because of visas. Okay, and even though I'm an investor, but I need visas in almost 38 countries.
So far today, there's been a sense that migration is a good thing and that it's something that everybody on the continent wants.
In this discussion on migration, or shall we rather say mobility, and at the end of the day, diversity, which is what mobility introduces, means strength.
So I think it behoves government to go out of their way to explain again and again what is actually happening, and that they, the citizens, benefit from immigration.
One important element that needs government intervention, you were just touching on, is providing an environment where business can thrive.
One thing that we need to do a little bit better, starting in this continent, is celebrating the local entrepreneurs. I want you to celebrate local businesses, local businessmen, and if possible, businesswomen.
We spent a whole day talking about jobs and mobility, and you've said there is an elephant in the room. What is the elephant?
Well, the elephant in the room is really family planning.
In our main report, we saw that Côte d'Ivoire was a top-performing country. You have improved by 19 places in the span of the last 7 or 8 years. This is unprecedented.
When Côte d'Ivoire came out of the crisis, it was a devastated country. I think my best asset is that I had a good team.
In order to create employment, to create jobs, we will need the ability to draw private investment.
If there is this trade opening, the unique currency that I want to implement, within 10 years from now, this region will actually have a new face, completely transformed.